the Abundant Will podcast. As you guys know, last episode we went over the first five Hermetic principles, and today we'll go over the last two. I'll read, like, I don't know, maybe a page and a half about each of them out of the book, and then I'll kind of break them down a little bit to the best of my ability, and then after that, because I think that'll probably go pretty quick. So then after that, I think we'll just go over all of them again really quick, but we'll just go over them like through my notes instead of the book and stuff. So um, I hope everybody's having a good Saturday. It's very nice weather out. I'm sure everybody's out enjoying themselves and things like that. I'm kind of stuck here because the truck, I was driving it the other day, and all of a sudden I was just like, you know how you could barely push and it'll stop, right? Well, it was like that, and then one time I hit it and it just went all the way to the floor, and I was like, So I got back and I added some brake fluid and tried pumping them, and it kept going to the floor, but I didn't see anything on the ground or anything like that or hear anything. Added some more brake fluid, nothing. But we found it today. It was like a little piece of rubber hose that connects to the brakes. It somehow got like close to the tire, and the tire basically rubbed a hole in it. So that's what it was leaking from. So I have like I don't know, I need a hose like that big. So we're waiting for it to get it AutoZone. But other than that, I hope everybody else is probably outside. It's a nice day, um, and we get those. I mean, lately it's been like 2 nice days, and then like back to 30 or 20, and then yeah, it's wild. So anyway, we'll start here with principle six. Principle six is the principle of cause and effect. So, the principle of cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to the law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. Okay, now that was just like a little quote, and here's a paragraph and stuff. So, this principle embodies the fact that there is a cause for every effect, an effect from every cause. It explains that everything happens according to the law, that nothing ever merely happens, that there is no such thing as chance, that while there are various planes of cause and effect, the higher dominating the lower planes, still nothing ever entirely escapes the law. The Hermeticists understand the art and methods of rising above the ordinary plane of cause and effect. To a certain degree, and by mentally rising to a higher plane, they become causers instead of effects. The masses of people are carried along, obedient to the environment, the wills and desires of others, stronger than themselves, hereditary suggestion, and other outward causes moving them about like pawns on a chessboard of life. But the masters rising to the plane above dominate their moods, characters, qualities, and powers. as well as the environment surrounding them, and become movers instead of pawns. They help to play the game of life instead of being played and moved about by others' wills and environments. They use the principle instead of being its tools. The masters obey the causation of the higher planes, but they help to rule on their own plane. In this statement, there is condensed a wealth of Hermetic knowledge. Let him read who can. All right. So that's the first one, cause and effect. Everything has a cause, everything has an effect. Okay. Cause is just the why behind something, the thing that starts it all. That's the cause. Like if you kick a ball, the kick is the cause. Okay. The effect is the what happens next. The result. The ball goes flying across the field or the room or the gym or whatever, and that's the effect. In simple words, cause is the trigger, effect is the outcome. One leads to the other like dominoes. No cause, no effect. Um, no cause, no effect. Well, then nothing happened. This applies. This this is like with all your decisions too, and stuff like that. And if you're stuck, and if you're living in like anxiety or anger or fear, you're you're gonna be affected by all you're not going to be causing anything because you're going to be affected by everything that's going on in your environment, in your head. You know what I mean? You're just you're bouncing around instead of being in control of your emotional and mental state, you know. So let's go on to the next one. All right, the last one is the principle of gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. This principle embodies the truth that there is gender manifested in everything. The masculine and feminine principles ever at work. This is true not only of the physical plane, but of the mental and even of the spiritual planes. On the physical plane, this principle manifests as sex. On the higher planes, it takes higher forms, but the principle is ever the same. No creation, physical, mental, or spiritual, is possible without this principle. An understanding of its laws will throw light on many a subject that has perplexed the minds of men. The principle of gender works ever in the direction of generation, regeneration, and creation. So I'm just going to read that again so everybody gets it. The principle of gender works ever in the direction of generation, regeneration, and creation. Everything and every person contains the two elements or principles of this great principle. Without it, him or her, every male thing has a female element. Also, every female contains also the male principle. If you would understand the philosophy of mental and spiritual creation, generation, and regeneration, you must understand the study this Hermetic principle. It contains the solution of many mysteries of life. We caution you that this principle has no reference to the many base, pernicious, and degrading lustful theories, teachings, and practices which are taught under fanciful titles and which are prostitution of the great natural principle of gender. Such base revivals of the ancient infamous forms of Phalashism tend to ruin mind, body, and soul, and Hermetic philosophy has ever sounded the warning note against these degraded teachings, which tend towards lust, perversion of nature's principles. If you seek such teachings, you must go elsewhere for them. Hermeticism contains nothing for you along these lines. To the pure, all things are pure. To the base, all things are base. So, all right, here's what I got for gender. It's not like everything about it, but it it's the best I could come up with on how to like explain it. Okay, so basically everything has a masculine side and a feminine side. Not like boys or girls, but like think like energy. Okay, so masculine is like the push energy, the active energy, the outgoing energy, um, giving like a spark or like a seed planting itself. And then the feminine is is the like the receive of energy, receptive energy, nurturing, growing, like the soil that takes the seed and turns it into a plant. Okay, together they make stuff happen. Like no push, no nothing, nothing starts. No receive, nothing grows. It's kind of like you can't bake a cake without like flour and stuff like that, but you also need the masculine, you need heat, right? So that's just one example that I could come up with. So it's not excuse me, so it's not about necessarily gender roles. It's about balance in everything, and every creation, every change, everything needs both vibes working together. Okay, so that's all of them. And like I said, I would highly encourage you guys to get this book and read the whole thing. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of good information in there, and if you could learn to apply uh, these principles in your life, man, everything will go smoother. I guarantee it. Okay, so we'll go over the seven again. Just oh man, you kidding me? uh, and I had the mentalism. Um, I had the mentalism one on my phone, the notes that I put on my phone, but I must have erased it. But basically, mentalism is like everything is mental. The um last episode, when the first thing I started reading was like about like the all. So the all is mental. And this is just source. Source is thoughts. And we're all a part of source, and we're all the same. We all have the same amount of source in us. So does everything around us, the air that we breathe, everything. Everything is source, and everything is mental, because everything begins with your thoughts. And, you know, uh, your thoughts become become an emotion, and then your emotions become a vibration, and then your whatever your vibration is becomes the mirror that's what the universe will give you, right? Okay, so the next one is correspondence. So everything in your life, relationships, money, health, your mood, it's just a mirror of what's going on inside of you. If your inner world is stressed, stuck, uh, full of fear, anger, whatever, any of that stuff, then your outer world will be stressed and stuck, and things like that. And if your inner world is happy and grateful and thankful for things, then you will feel that in your heart, and then that will be a high vibration, right? Because being grateful is, like I've said many times throughout the episodes, it's a superpower, dude. It is. But you have to truly be grateful. Um, so correspondence is basically just whatever emotions, vibrations you're emitting. That's basically what you're going to get back, because the universe is a mirror. Okay, I have to hold on. Okay, so the third one is the principle of vibration. So we'll go over this one. Everything vibrates. Your body, thoughts, objects, and emotions, they all vibe at their own frequency. It's like I said before, like when you pluck a guitar string, right? And then it wiggles. The wiggle is the vibration. The faster it wiggles, the higher the vibration. The lower or the slower it wiggles, the lower the vibration. High vibes is feeling light, clear, happy, um, like you're tuned into a good radio station, right? Low vibes are like heavy, foggy, stuck, fear, static, uh, anxiety, all that kind of stuff. Um, the trick is you can raise your own vibration and your own frequency, right? By changing your thoughts and changing your emotions. Uh, the number one way to start switching your vibration or frequency to a high vibration or frequency is being grateful for everything in your life, dude. Seriously, you have to. I mean, come on, we got everything that we want, man. Uh, and if you don't, you could change it. It's up to you. You're a creator. You can do whatever you like, right? But you have to believe in yourself, and you have to get your mind right, and you have to switch your thinking. All right. So you can raise your own vibration through gratitude and being humble and living in light, love, and truth. Or you can have a low negative frequency where nothing ever works out for you, and you're constantly wondering why. And you could be hanging around negative people with negative thoughts and all that. And that's another thing, man. Like, you're gonna have to shorten up your circle a little bit, or you're going to have to do an inventory of, what kind of friends that you really want around, and if they're going to support you through, you know, this journey. If this is what you want to do, um, sometimes you gotta cut people out, man. Even family, man. Sometimes, because you gotta preserve and protect your own energy as well, right? So, all right. So vibration, polarities. The next one. Sorry, I got them all on like different pages and stuff. So, all right. Everything comes in pairs, right? Hot, cold, up, down, dark, light, north, south, east, west, right? They're all the same on the same spectrum. Think of it like a stick. Okay, so one end of the stick is hot, one end of the stick is cold, and anywhere in between. They're not opposites, they're just uh okay. Yeah, they're not opposites, they're just extremes uh, of the same thing. So like if it's a stick, it's just, where does hot or cold's on this end, hot's on this end. Where does cold stop and hot, you know what I mean? kind of kind of like that, but it's all on the same spectrum. No warm without cold, no happy without sad, no light without dark, right? They're not opposites, they're just extremes of the same thing. You want less fear? Don't fight it, just shift inward. Courage, just shift. Okay, sorry. My I write like a 5-year-old dude, so sometimes it's hard to read. I apologize. Um, want less fear? Don't fight it. Just shift towards courage. Want peace? Stop chasing chaos. Lean into the calm. It's like a thermostat. You don't smash the dial. You just turn it up or turn it down. Same energy, different settings, right? So polarity isn't about picking sides or about knowing the whole range. Yeah, it's not about picking sides. It's about knowing you have the whole range to play with. Okay. Uh, all right. Now we got the principle of rhythm. All right. So the principle of rhythm. Everything in life swings like a pendulum, up, down, high, low. Good times, bad times. Nothing stays steady forever. It's all waves, all tides, all cycles. Your mood, it ebbs and flows. Money comes and goes. Relationships are hot and cold. Spring blooms, winter sleeps. Even the seasons do it, right? The trick, you can't you can't stop the swing, but you could ride it. When you're down, just know that the upswing is coming, and when you're riding high, know that the time to lay low is coming, right? Just have to understand this stuff. That everything is a cycle. Um, okay, yeah. So you could write it when you're down. Know the upswing is coming. When you're flying high, be prepared for the drop. The cool part is you can nudge the rhythm, stay calm in the lows and humble in the highs, and suddenly you're not you're not bouncing around with the pendulum. You're swinging with it, right? So good stuff, folks. All right, so now we're back to cause and effect. I'll just go over that one more time, just so you know we broke down all of them. Okay, cause and effect. Cause is just the why behind something, the thing that starts it all. Like if you kick or throw a ball, that's the cause. The effect is what happens next. The ball goes flying into someone's mitt or bounces off of something, or if you kick it, it goes in a goal, or whatever happens. But the cause is the kick, and the effect is what happens after. Um, in simple words, the cause is the trigger, and the effect equals the outcome. One leads to the other, like dominoes. No cause, no effect, nothing happened. And this applies to your decisions too. That's why I say, man, just we're all the same. So treat people with love, light, and respect. And if they need help, help them. I mean, it's not that hard, man. And you know what? I always feel I always feel good about myself when I'm helping somebody. So I mean, we were supposed to be at that lady's house today, finishing up the bedroom. I posted a couple of shorts about the ASP kids doing the bedroom, but I guess the lady had something going on today, so couldn't get in there. But we've been doing that for the last 3 weekends, and it's just, dude. I mean, it's like a perfect project to get the kids back into the groove before we actually go to Tennessee or West Virginia or Kentucky or wherever they have us going this year. I mean, it was like it was a perfect project for them, and it all worked out. I mean, you see how good those pictures are and what they did, man. They're excellent. So, all right, let's finish up here. One more principle of gender. Okay, so the principle of gender. Basically, everything has a masculine side, everything has a feminine side. Not like boys and girls think more in terms of like energy. Okay. So masculine is the push, the spark, the action, the outgoing, um, like a seed planting itself. The feminine is the receive, receptive, nurturing, and growing. like the soil that takes the seed and turns it into a plant. Together, they make stuff happen. Like no push, nothing starts. No receive, nothing grows. You can't you can't bake a cake without flour and heat, right? So heat would be your masculine and flour would be your feminine. So it's not about gender roles, it's about balance. Balance in everything. Every idea, every creation, every change needs both vibes working together. So, um, I, I hope you guys got some stuff out of this, but yeah, if if you can start to understand that stuff and apply it in your life, man, it just makes things like easier, and it I don't know, just ever since I've started on this path, I've just whatever's going on, I'm just learning like there's no reason to get excited about anything, man. You know how like if you hear like some crazy news, all of a sudden everybody's like freaking out and rushing and doing this and doing that. I understand that to be calm and just kind of wait and see what's going on and what happens. You know what I mean? It's just I don't know, man. That's why I'm sharing this stuff because it's really helped me. I've come a long way, man. If you guys would have known me before, you'd be like, dude, who is this kid? Yeah, seriously. So um, I hope everybody enjoys their Saturday. It's a nice day out. Get some time with the family in and stuff like that. And I will see you guys sometime this week. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to talk about yet, but I got a couple ideas brewing, so we'll see. But like I said, I hope everybody is doing their best to live in abundance, being grateful and bringing light and truth into other people's lives, and just working on yourself and meditating and getting to know yourself and, you know, uh, becoming the creator that, we were all meant to be, and create the life that you want, man, because you can do whatever you want. You have the power. It's all within you. Um, so yeah, I'll see you guys next week. If you like what you hear, man, please, I would appreciate it if you guys liked and subscribed. All right. Thank you very much. I will see you guys sometime next week. All right.